Hello everyone, welcome to another motovlog on my channel. My name is Marshall3498. In today's motovlog, what I'd like to talk about is where I've been. Start out by saying for the past couple weeks, sorry I've not been able to upload. As of you who watch my channel on a regular basis, I do work two jobs and I've been working a lot of hours at both recently, pretty much for like a whole month. I didn't really have a day off. If I was off from one job, I was working the second job, and vice versa. So I do apologize for that. Sorry about, I usually upload every week, and I've not been able to do that in like almost a month now. So I do apologize for that. Start out by saying that. But today's motovlog will be about motorcycle related topic as a whole, as normal. And that topic is, the whole Grom life thing. Really, with the rising gas prices right now, everything costing more, it's got me looking into just seeing what that's about and learning stuff. I like to learn new things on YouTube, especially about motorcycles and other topics I watch. And I just started watching it and I just found it interesting. I don't think the Grom is a good only bike, but if you're fortunate enough to have at least one bike besides the Grom, I think the Grom is a good long-term investment. It's not a good investment, I think, if you only have it, buy one, have it, ride it for just a couple of years. Because, yeah, you'll probably get most of your money back. But if you do some mods, and especially if you buy a new one and put mods into it, I don't think it's that a good investment. I myself, when I find something I like, I hold on to it for a while. I've had this bike now for going on 3 years. In January of 2023, it'll be 3 years I've had it. Absolutely adore it. But that brings me back to my point is, the main thing about Groms is they're just different. That I like. They're not a bike to be taken seriously. They're a bike for just fun. They only weigh like 240 pounds, ready to ride, so they're very light, easy to move around, getting out of the garage, and parking spots, just easy to live with. If you can get past, I think, the whole limited power thing, and expect that going in, and just kind of ride it, and don't worry about that part, then I think the Grom is a good choice for a bike to have. They get over 100 miles to gallon, even if you're just absolutely thrashing on them. And depending on what model you get, you're easily going to get at least 100 miles or not more per tank. So even with the high gas price today, for $3.50 you can ride it 100 miles plus, we'll say. And oil changes are cheap. They hold 1 quart of oil. Tires are cheap. Just everything about them is cheap. They're cheap to insure, cheap to buy. If you go out and buy a brand new one, even the ABS one, they're like $3,500, something like that. Of course, that's before taxes, dealer prep, freight, any of that jazz. So you're probably really looking at probably 4.5, maybe closer to 5, which is kind of expensive for such a novelty toy bike. But I think it'd be a fun thing to own and play around with, especially if you got one little Grom groups and 5 or 6 y'all went ripping around. I'm fortunate enough in my area, there's lots of little back roads like this. Yes, I know they're not really meant for, or you shouldn't take them on the interstate. I know that. But there's lots of little back roads like this. They're 35, 45 speed limit, and they would be a blast on stuff like this. The only really safety concern I see about them is if you go to pull out somewhere like a 4-lane highway, and you have to pull out on traffic quickly, so you don't have enough power to really just pull out kind of quickly like you would on a bigger bike. But if you just plan for that, only try to pull out at places like leave yourself a little more room. Only try to pull out of places that have red lights, stuff like that. You can find your way around that. Just learn to deal with it. and adjust your riding style accordingly. I don't think that's that big of a deal, but they're just, you know, they're not to be taken seriously. There's lots of stuff you could do to them for not a lot of money. You can put a little bit of performance upgrade on them, no matter what the gen model is, and they'll cruise at 55 to barely over 60, and that's fast enough for 4-lane highway stuff, like where I live around. You know, your 4-lane highways with a middle divider or turning lane. Most of those areas around where I live at, they're 45 to 55 an hour zones. So if you can do the speed limit a little bit above, and just learn to watch your mirrors and be aware of what's around you. You should do that anyway on a motorcycle. Always watch as much as you can all around you, no matter if it's front, sideways, back, forth. Kind of away from a Harley rider. Who would have thought? But you know, I just think they'd be a cool thing, like I said, to have and just play around with. You know, they're so light, you could just about, if you didn't even have a garage, you could, if you had a sliding glass door, you could roll it into that and park it in a corner somewhere, especially if you have like a, you know, a den or a basement or something like that. You wouldn't necessarily have to garage. You could just, you know, pick it up by the handlebars and underneath the seat and just shove it in a corner somewhere. But I like the idea of you know, having a bike like that. You know, they're like $20, if that, a month to insure, even for full coverage. Like I said, the cost of owning and living with them is easy. I don't know though if I would get tired of the lack of power, or if I would just learn to deal with it and just have fun on the bike itself. I don't know. Like I said, you know, the customization is endless. You could pull the wheels off. You know, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Tires, they're extremely cheap. Even like Michelin's, they're like $60 a tire. And even if you ride it a lot, for that $60 a tire, it's going to take a long time to go through them. Like this bike that I'm riding, my FJR, like a front tire for this mounted, balanced, and installed is like $250. I mean, you see what I'm getting at here. Very cheap on everything. And that's what appeals to me. You know, yes, big bikes like this are fun, but they're expensive to ride. Maintenance is expensive. Everything is expensive. And that's the only downside to a big bike like this. But, you know, they're not cheap to buy. They're not cheap to own. They're not cheap for maintenance, and Groms are cheap with everything. Excluding the price of buying one. Like I said, they are kind of pricey what they are, but you know, I think all the people who are buying them used and stuff like that, and then buy them, fix them up, it's a cool thing, and they're easy to work on. Good project bike if you want a little project bike for not amount of money. I think they're just a cool thing. Let me know. I'd love to know what y'all think about them in the comments. Do you think you know, if there's something cool that maybe you like to see, maybe potentially getting one day or not? I don't know. I haven't made up my mind. But like I said, love to love y'all's comments and opinions in the comments down below. And thanks for watching today's motovlog. If you've not already done so, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.